Alrighty, I think it's recording.
Yes, it is.
Alrighty, hello everyone. Welcome back to episode two, Ben and Bren. I am Ben.
And I am Brendan. How's everybody doing? How are you doing, Ben?
I'm doing good, man. Nice to see
That's
you again.
great. That's great. Well, today we're bringing you back the second episode of Ben and Bren. Um, of course, our first one was a little rusty. We were just getting the start of it, but now we're becoming more how do I say it? I lost the words. We're becoming more acclimated to it. There we go.
Acclimated. There you
There
go.
we go.
Exactly.
So now we have a lot of things to talk about now. Considering the fact that, uh, a lot has been going on. I actually got a bit of it's actually allergy season. So I think one of the topics I want to start off with, Ben, is allergies and sicknesses, you know? Let's
Yeah.
just start with allergies first, right? Um, Allergies. So la last week I had gotten like really bad allergies, and mainly because of pollen. So during this time of the year, uh, flowers, plants, grass, so they reproduce by giving out pollen, and that goes into our body, and our body thinks it's a virus a lot of the time. That's why we get allergies. It's our body's reaction to this pollen that thinks it's a virus. It just thinks it's either flu, strep, um, COVID. It may think that, but in actual reality, it's not. And it's just defending itself against basically pollen. That's it.
hmm
And a lot of the time, we all go through a lot of stuff when we're in allergies. A lot of people have big symptoms, some don't. I had like really bad symptoms. For example, I was going to the store to do groceries, man, and I would I would be crying every single time because every time I felt like I had to sneeze, I wouldn't sneeze. So then I'd look like I'd gone through a trauma. It was really bad.
Is you would like your face would look like it was about to explode. Like,
Oh my God, it was so bad. People were looking at me crazy because I would be walking around with eyes that were like red. So I don't know what they call, I think what they call the white part is called the sclera. And basically that was all red. Like I looked like either
you were doing something.
I was
Yeah,
either
you were doing
high
something.
or I was like depressed or like I'd gone through a
Right, you have been
serious
crying for 12 hours.
like I'd gone through a heartbreak or I was high.
Right,
But
right.
but I was always crying. It was just so bad because every time I need to sneeze, I would just come to that point and then dang.
hmm Yeah, I mean, allergies, I used to live up north and whenever the winter, my allergies would adjust to the winter, and then whenever the strong spring came on, it would like smack you in the face. The cedar, there was so much cedar up there, and smack you in the face. But also an extension of allergies, just sickness. Take for example, right now, I didn't go to school today because I have strep throat, and this is my second time I've got it in like a month and a half. So I don't really know what's going on, but my point is that especially for a lot of the people who watch this podcast and what we do here at Mindful Me is a lot for students, and that has caused me to miss a little bit of school, as well as doctor's visits, doctor's appointments. So how do we keep up our health and understand our other priorities? And that's something that I've been looking into recently, because I know what my priorities are. I know I have my school, I have my extracurriculars, and if I keep having to cancel after cancel after cancel, then that's not going to feel good for me. That's not going to look good on me to them. So yeah, I mean, it's obviously not purposeful. It's obviously not intentional, any of it. But a lot of the choices we make can affect it. What we eat, what we put into our body is uh, uh, which it represents how our immune system is going to be. It represents how our body's health is going to be, and what we put into our body shows and will manifest through our health. I can be more at risk. Say someone like me who, uh, not even something like, I'm not just talking about like, oh, if you eat unhealthy foods, you could get sick much easier. That's not what I'm talking about because while that is true, everyone knows that. That's such a general statement. But what you have to do is not generalize it, is specify it to you. So for me, say something like, I can't have too much, I don't know, take for example, say lactose. Say if I can't have too much lactose, I can't have too much milk, I can't have too much dairy because it makes me super inflamed and I get I get a lot of like mucus, let's say, that's specified to me. So, what health and nutrition decisions do I make that um, affect my health? So that means maybe if I'm feeling very mucusy, very snotty one day, maybe I stay away from milk. But that's just the wellness. That's just the nutrition part. What about the
Of
health
course.
part? What about the going outside? What about especially for me, uh, or no, not for me because I really am not affected by like the sun a lot. I like usually don't wear sunscreen, but a lot of people need to wear sunscreen when they go outside, or else it'll cause them to get sick. It's all specified towards
Yeah.
you. And
It's well here no
yeah, go ahead,
excuse
go
me for
ahead.
cutting you off, but
No,
like
it's good, it's good.
it's everything, Ben, you know. Uh yeah, like back to what you said, uh eating unhealthy, well not necessarily eating unhealthy, that's a bit of a general statement, but if your diet doesn't consist of like the right things, right? And you keep that for a prolonged period. And the thing is, if you don't work out, that in combination with things like you not doing any physical activities would be a lot on you. It causes stress. That's one. And the more stress your body has to handle, the more susceptible you are to diseases, to allergies. Now, I live a very healthy life, and I've had friends that I go onto campus with, and when they have allergies, they are in such a bad state, much more worse than mine. Mind you, this is taking into consideration the fact that they don't work out and they don't eat necessarily the most healthiest foods.
Hmm.
And their diet is fairly, it fluctuates on great scales. So usually they would eat low, bare minimum to nothing. Like if I say one meal a day, and days they would eat like a whole entire like buffet.
Hmm.
And that's not necessarily good because you don't have a steady diet. So you're under eating and you're overeating. You're giving your body two different signals of what to do. Um, in the sense of allergies, you know, she was my friend. She was basically like in pain, like she was sniffling all over the place. Yeah, she was crying. She was crying a lot more than I did. I remember when I went to the store, I was crying, yeah, but when I got back home, I was fairly fine. When I was going to campus, I was fairly fine. That only happened for one day. And I maintain a steady diet and I work out. Her, on the other hand, she had been crying, sniffling like a broken faucet, and coughing all over the
Right,
place
she couldn't stop.
for, and I'm not even telling you, 5 days. And this is just pollen. This isn't a sickness. It's just allergies.
That's
It's
crazy.
just allergies, you know? Yeah, that is a big thing when it comes
Mhm.
to how you treat your body. If you treat your body like a Lamborghini, you're gonna run like a Lamborghini.
Right.
That's the biggest motto when it comes to how you treat your body. You have to be selfish sometimes and look out for yourself.
Right. That yeah, so when I was thinking of when I was writing down, I was thinking of things to talk about today. And I was thinking of how we treat ourselves and how that aligns with our values. So I wrote some stuff down in our notes. So like you were saying, if you treat your body like a Lamborghini, you're gonna run like a Lamborghini. Your life is gonna be lived like one. And that is 1,000% in line, has to be in line with your values, has to be in line with what is important to you. If in life your health and physical well-being isn't as important to you because you prefer to sit around, and that's fine. That's fine. That's completely fine. It has to be in line with your values and what you're comfortable with, and how that relates to your goals. So I wrote down something I want to actually search up because I want to search it up here to show
You
everyone.
know, um, just treating your body right will always make sure will always help you in the long run. Oh, he's screen sharing.
Yeah,
This is the
yeah.
first time I've
So
ever
I
seen him
want to
do this. I
search
think
this.
we're the only people to do this on our podcast, right?
Yeah,
I think so.
value definition. So I want to just search up
Value
the definition
definition.
because they're the real definition. It's this one right here. Persons, principles, or standards. Yeah, this one. Persons. Did I highlight it? There we go. Yeah, that one that I'm highlighting. Uh, that one. A person's principles or standards of behavior, one's judgment of what is important in life. Um, and I really like this definition. Obviously, there's a few other definitions there, but I really like this definition, especially how it relates to what we talk about in your health. So, even look at the example right here. They internalize their parents' rules and values. So it's basically our principles, our ethics, and our morals, like it is, like it says right here. And you need to check that. You need to be honest with yourself and don't share and don't. Um, Commit to goals that don't align with what your values are. And you can have a value of feeling healthy. You can have the imagination of being in good health and feeling healthy. But if that aligns with your values, if that aligns with if you have a value of hard working and studying and always preparing academically, that takes over and trumps your value of you're eating well and nutrition and exercise. It's about really knowing what you want. And so what I wrote down here was sticking to your values, whatever they may be, will bring you to your next goals and your next step in life. When we
That's a
stick,
good one. That's a really good one.
yeah,
That right there shows what I think that shows is a lot of mindfulness when it comes to how you treat your body. Because of course, where you want to get to next in life, of course, it's not like one huge step. You're making multiple steps and goals and setting certain things in your life, right? So what you got to do is you got to take those steps to it. One thing's to, just study, do work. Yeah, you're completing one thing, but you're forgetting about another at the same time. So you're not really going anywhere. You're taking a step forward and then taking one back. And in most cases, you're taking two steps back.
right,
You're not really getting where you need to be. And when it comes to how you eat and how you take care of your body, um, being mindful of that will be it's going to help you in the long run. We always think of the short race. We always think about what's happening right now. And what you should be doing is thinking about right now. You don't want to always be worried, but you always want to take into consideration what could be. You don't want to always be worried and paranoid that, hey, something might happen. You know, something might go wrong, right? I'm not telling people to always be paranoid about everything in the future. What I'm saying is worry about yourself right now and do what's helpful, what's mindful, and what's better for yourself right now so that in the future you don't have to worry about the problems that come with you not taking care of yourself right now.
of course.
That's how you get to those goals and do those certain things.
Yeah, 1,000%. Um, you know, like I do martial arts, and what my sensei, he always says goals you set are goals you get. And that is 100% not in relation to thinking in the future, thinking ahead the whole time, because our goals are created and our goals are achieved by living in the present and doing things to help us.
Yeah, I think your sensei is smart for that because, when you set your goals, you're like, okay, right now I'm in game mode. I gotta move, and I'm not gonna worry about when I'm getting to my goal. I'm just gonna keep doing it right now until okay. Once that moment where my goal's here, I have it. Now I have a new goal to set, or I set one after that one, and then I know what to do next.
Yeah, of course. I mean, our goals they change, and so that's why it's so important to take it, step by step, because our goals change, and that's what I was trying to, that's what I was talking about with our values. So really, be honest and check with yourself. What goals do you want, and does that align with, how you feel and what you, excuse me, what you believe in your values. And that might change over time. That might 100% change over time. Just because you have a one goal or one value now doesn't mean it can't change. Doesn't mean that's not flexible. And there's plenty of things, plenty of times our lives change and take a different route. But we have to be honest with that. How along the way are we gonna check ourselves and be honest with ourselves? Um, and yeah, especially when it comes to something that you and I talk about, Brendan, which is health and wellness. How does that
Oh yeah.
change? How do I change up my diet at a certain stage in life? How do I change up my exercise and daily routine throughout my daily life? What if at one stage of my life I'm on crutches and I can't walk for a little bit? What if at another stage in my life I have increased insulin and I have to do what I need to do for that? I need to change up you need to change up your habits and your lifestyle as you go to achieve your goals.
But of course, we don't want to wait until we. Here's the thing. You don't want to wait until you're on crutches. You don't want to wait until you get high insulin. You don't want to wait until you get cardiac arrest. You don't want to wait until you get a stroke. That's the simple part about it. You don't want to wait.
Hmm.
Why wait for something bad to happen so that you change your way of life? Why do you have to wait for something bad to happen? Why do you have to experience something to happen? There are people out there, yeah, multiple people who tell you, hey, get healthier, this is and that. And but they're trying to sell you something that you're not really sure about. Simple, simple. Focus on what's right now. Diet, yeah, it's people make it out to be this complicated thing where you have to like find numbers and whatnot. Don't worry about that. There's nothing to worry about when it comes to that numbers. Don't worry about that right now. You're in a point in your life where numbers isn't what you really want to focus on. Just focus on keeping yourself in check, getting everything you need to get into your body, certain nutrients, right? You want to get vitamin D, okay? Go out to the sun for 5 minutes. Go easy. Go for a walk for 5 minutes. There you go. That's how you get your vitamin D and you get some physical exercise. You get fresh air too, so you're not in the house the entire time, right? Your diet, a little more complicated than that. Like I said in the first episode, I didn't go into too much depth. I don't want to go into too much depth yet, but you always want to experiment with yourself.
Hmm.
Everybody's different. I'm not the same as you, Ben. I'm not gonna. There are certain things that you might not um there's certain things that you're allergic to. Hypothetically, you
No, I
might
mean,
be
yeah, I do
you
have
might be
plenty of
allergic to
things I'm
certain
allergic
things.
to. Yeah,
What are you allergic to? Give me an example.
I'm allergic to nuts.
There you go. Nuts. You can't eat nuts. There are certain nutrients in nuts that you can't get from eating nuts because
Hmm.
alongside those nutrients are certain other molecules that are not necessarily unhealthy, but they'll cause a reaction in your body that's going to
Yeah,
hurt you,
for sure.
right? But I can eat nuts. So for Ben, he would have to take, I don't know, maybe a vitamin to get those nutrients. That's one way he could change up his diet. Instead of not just eating nuts at all and no vitamins, he could be like, okay, I need this certain vitamin. This helps out with either my testosterone, with this ATP, getting energy, whatnot. He's gonna adjust. That's the type of thing. You want to adjust. You want to adapt.
Of
But you,
course.
but of course, Ben is. Well, I'm assuming you. Okay, I'm not assuming, but did you grow up with it?
Yeah, yeah, all my
So,
life.
so were you born with it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, well, there's nothing you could really do. You're not waiting for anything. He was born with it. So in that case, he has to adapt, right?
Right.
But Ben doesn't want to wait until, he gets to a point where like, okay, it becomes a big deal when I don't know, is lacking nutrients when his doctor tells him that. When his doctor does a blood report and he's lacking in iron or this or that. You don't want to wait until that. You don't want to wait until the doctor's telling you, hey, this is bad. You're gonna get something in the future. You've got to step up your A game.
And even if let's take peanuts for example, I'm allergic to peanuts. Let's take, even if I was able to eat peanuts, doesn't mean I'm gonna eat Reese's and doesn't mean I'm gonna eat Snickers, and it doesn't mean I'm gonna go out of my way to enjoy all of it that it has to offer because those things, those cases, an example, aren't the right cases for me. If I had the ability to eat nuts, uh, if I could, I should eat it because of how it benefits me, not because of how it could not benefit me and deteriorate me. Just because I can doesn't mean I should. And that applies to everything. That applies to every single thing. And sometimes it's great to indulge because those are the joys of life. When we indulge, we are happy, and it brings us a boost of dopamine and it gets us excited. But that includes in a fair share and a fair balance. We don't indulge. We're not supposed to indulge all the time,
Yeah,
um,
I
because.
completely. Yeah,
uh,
go ahead. My bad.
Oh, all good, all good. Just because if we do, then it loses its value. So it's great to do that sometimes, but just because once again, just because you can doesn't mean you should. And sometimes it's great to. I love doing it. Everyone loves to.
That's a very good point, Ben. There was one time, I think a year ago, bought a bunch of oysters, right? I got like 20 something oysters, and give you some context, I'm not allergic to anything besides probably pollen, but my dad isn't, but my mom is allergic to shellfish, and she wanted to indulge in an oyster with us, so she ate like three. Yeah, nothing's wrong with indulging in, certain things that you're allergic to, but you have to be ready for the consequences, right? She ended up having to, like, she had a very bad belly ache for like 3 days and like it was like making her feel like, well, the way she described it to me, she felt like she was almost having like menstrual cramps or things like that, like a
Hmm.
woman usually has. So she was uh she was going through it, but sometimes she wants to indulge in it. And she knew she had the allergy, the allergic reaction
Right,
to it, but she chose to still do it. Of
right.
course, you don't want to do it every time. She doesn't do that every time. That's like a one in a million time case where she did it in like a span of like years.
Hmm.
To keep on doing that, you're gonna hurt yourself.
Right.
But
But even
once in
with
a while, it's not bad.
sorry. But I'm just even with things we're not allergic to, that we can eat, um, that uh that it's not gonna immediately make you uncomfortable or affect you or give you a stomach ache or whatever in the moment, but things that can lead to affecting you overall and in time. Um,
Um,
yeah.
that it's okay when if you're allergic to something, but just be tolerant with it. I think the biggest thing a lot of people do is they like to binge eat and they like to eat a lot and they eat a lot to the point where it starts affecting them physically.
Hmm.
And a lot of big things when it comes to mindfulness is, being comfortable with yourself and whatnot. And I'm a big person on working out and being healthy. And one of the biggest things to do is to never be ashamed to be who you are.
Hmm.
One thing is to self-criticize yourself, right? And one thing is to harshly criticize yourself because a lot of people like to overly we inadvertently compare ourselves to other people. I go on Instagram all the time and I'll look at somebody who is ripped out of their mind, like 10 pack, right?
Right.
And I'll be like, okay, that's cool. That's what maybe I should try and, work out more, right? That's what I would do. Here's the thing. You have to instill something in your mindset. One thing is to envy others, and one thing is to learn after other people. You see somebody who is better looking than you physically on the internet, don't take it with a grain of salt. Take it as something as motivation, right? what we like to do is we like to compare ourselves to everybody, but not do anything about it, right? Instead, you should be putting that work to move forward, bettering yourself. If you're not enjoying who you are physically right now, then maybe go through the work to change it. Uh, that instilling a mindset like that, where okay, right now I may not be comfortable with myself physically,
Mm-hmm.
but I could put the focus there and get to that. I could set a goal and get to a certain point. One thing is to, like I'm saying, don't shame yourself. One thing is to shame yourself, and one thing is to work towards something. One thing is to criticize yourself and be like, okay, what am I doing wrong here, here, and here, and here? And then with that, you create a mindset of, okay, I'm gonna move forward, I'm gonna work on this, and I'm gonna get to this certain point.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
That's all I have for that. I mean,
Yeah, man, that was perfectly said. Well, hey, I think that wraps it up for today. I appreciate everyone for watching. I appreciate all the listeners. I appreciate you, Brendan, my partner in not partner in crime, partner in health and wellness. You know,
yes, partner in health and wellness. We don't want it. We don't condone crime. Crime
yeah,
is bad.
none of that over here.
Like
Only
crime is
health,
bad.
wellness,
We
and
don't condone that.
mindfulness. Yeah, once again, you guys can check us out, Mindful Me with two L's, mindfullme.org. Our social medias are mindfullme Inc. Mindful Me Inc. You guys can check out our website for
Yeah.
new podcast meditations. Anything else you got to say, Brendan, for
You could find us on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook as well. And like Ben said, our website. Usually, if you just look up Mindful Me on Instagram or TikTok, you'll find us. Um, we take requests for anything on what you guys want to talk about. So if you want to, just send an email or something like that, or just text our Instagram. Our Instagram usually puts up a lot of polls to where we could answer questions
Yeah.
and put out questions on what you guys want from us in terms of podcasts, what more you want to see in terms of podcasts, what more you want to see on the Instagram and the TikToks, or even on the websites. Um, any type of criticism, constructive criticism is definitely it's definitely helpful, and we would like it. Um, that's all I have. Thank you, Ben, for
Yeah, thank
being
you,
here as
man.
well, being my partner in health and wellness. And that's all
Sure.
I have for you guys today.
Cool. Well, it is February 22nd. This is going to drop tomorrow, February 23rd, and we are a little under a month away from our Mindful Me spring break retreat on March
Yes.
20th and 21st. We hope to see you all there. As of today's the last day for our early sign up of $75. As of tomorrow, it turns to 100. We hope to see you all there. We've got lunch, we've got merch, we've got professionals teaching us how to do all these amazing mindful things, and we
Yep.
see all of you
Yeah.
guys there.
We got a bunch of stuff. Yes, please sign up. Actually, Ben, I think we pushed back the date for early
Awesome,
registration. So I
awesome,
think, yeah, so there's still time for early registration. Just come
awesome.
sign up.
Come on by,
75
y'all.
bucks. We got a lot of activities going on. We're not going to spoil them all, but they're in the flyer on our Instagram and our website. So go check that out. It's Mindful Me on Instagram. Yes, we have sound meditation. There are other activities. We're gonna do other sports activities. If you'd like to join, please sign up. Food is gonna be provided for those 2 days. So that's really all we have today.
Yeah,
All right.
we'll see you all. Thank you all for watching.
We'll see you all in the coming week.